In this video, we will solve the age-old Minecraft mystery of why the Wither drops a Nether star. You see, the Minecraft Wither is powered by many souls which crystallize to form a Nether star when it dies. Now, we'll also be uncovering the Wither's mysterious backstory, so stick around. The Wither, one of Minecraft's hardest bosses. When killed, it'll only drop a singular Nether star, but why? And what even is a Nether star? To answer that, we will need to look at the origin of the Wither. And believe it or not, the Minecraft paintings might actually be the key to solving this mystery. The Wither can only be summoned by placing 4 soul sand and 3 Wither skeleton skulls in the shape of a T. This theory begins with the Minecraft Mob Bestiary, an official Minecraft book with lots of lore. And even though it's technically not canon, it's the best thing we have to making a cohesive theory and story that makes sense. On the page with the Wither, it says this, and I quote, "The Wither's existence was theorized by scholars before it was witnessed. Soon after, a bizarre painting began to appear, showing a T-shaped group of brownish blocks topped by 3 white-eyed heads. Thus, the search began for information as to what this creature may be." This quote alone gives us a lot to work with. So apparently, ancient scholars of the past theorized its existence due to seeing this weird painting. So this begs the seemingly obvious but important question: who painted the Minecraft paintings? Could it have been an evil artist who received visions of what to paint? Or maybe, in the context of lore, it could have been painted by the developers themselves. Let me explain. Mojang is sort of treated like gods in Minecraft and in this book. So when the Mojang gods released the paintings, the ancient people of the past, known as the ancient builders, noticed the weird Wither painting. It's the only painting not based on an actual real painting, but at the time they had no clue as to what it was. Looking closer at the painting, there was what seemed it to be grass, and the sky looked like a blood-colored red. If we keep reading the Minecraft Mob Bestiary, it continues with, quote, "A group of settlers tried to recreate what they saw in that painting, using 4 blocks of soul sand and 3 skulls of the Wither skeleton." So it seems that the Wither was constructed by a group of settlers. I will now try to recreate what I believed happened. Enjoy the story. Here, we meet our group of settlers who are very curious and adventurous. Guys, look at this painting. It looks kind of weird, right? Yeah, this green looking thing has a creepy looking face. Not that, I mean, look at this. Huh, what is it? I don't know, it's weird. The grass is green, but the sky is red. I wonder what would happen if we built that thing in the middle there. I don't think that's a good idea. Oh, it'll be fine. The settlers soon after discovered a secret chiseled image in the mesa biomes which seemed to match the painting. Red chiseled sandstone has a small chance of naturally generating in mesa biomes. See, look, the chiseled sandstone kind of matches the painting. Oh wow, you're right, these two match. Not that, look over here. Oh, yeah, right. So with the clues they had, they hypothesized that completing the structure would summon whatever this creature was. These settlers decided to dedicate their lives to trying to figure out what this entity was, and would try to build the structure. It's said in the Minecraft Mob Bestiary that the painting came before the actual Wither itself was built. Hey, look what I built. What is this? I tried to recreate the painting. With dirt and coal? Nice try. The actual materials are probably something a lot harder to obtain. These settlers would go on to be the ones who would help pioneer the Nether portal, a revolutionary technology in magic. It opened up a whole new dimension with completely foreign and coveted materials. The ancient builders quickly got to work, setting up infrastructure and building the bastions. They brought over pigs as a food source. Some pigs escaped and eventually evolved into the beefy and aggressive hoglins, mainly due to the tougher environment of the Nether. Some of the other pigs eventually became the piglins. If a pig is struck by lightning, it will turn into a piglin, so maybe lightning was involved in the process somehow. The piglins were used to mine gold. Mushrooms had been brought over eons ago by the Endermen. Some of the mushrooms mutated into the warped and crimson mushroom biomes. It's proven in the Minecraft Mob Bestiary that Endermen can teleport in all dimensions. This would explain why many Endermen lived in the warped forest biomes, since the Endermen have already been here for a long time. Let's return back to our good old settlers. What got them excited was that the Nether was red, just like in the painting. The settlers eventually figured out that the brown blocks used were soul sand, a block which contains the souls of the dead. The final ingredient missing now was just the Wither skeleton skull. The settlers at the time though had no clue as to what it was, and in the painting the Wither skull's eyes are glowing white. Using the paintings once again as our guide, the settlers noticed the painting painting of a skull being lit on fire. This could burn and char a skull, making it turn black. This is said in the Minecraft Mob Bestiary on the Wither skeleton page that, quote, "They have been scoured by fire." These settlers found an evil magician who used advanced magic to resurrect a dead friend, turning him into a skeleton. In the Minecraft Mob Bestiary, it is said here on the skeleton page that, quote, "Skeletons are ancient adventurers raised from death by an evil sorcerer." This makes me wonder if this evil sorcerer was also the one who created the mob spawner, perhaps the one who made the blaze spawner in the Nether fortress. But that, however, is a story for another time. They used the information from the painting and lit the skeleton skull on fire. It became a charred black, looking like what we now would call a wither skeleton head. Side note, the painting with the rose next to it may be foreshadowing of the wither rose. Anyways, they used the wither skeleton heads to finally complete the structure they saw in the wither painting. This was it. They would finally, after all these years, figure out what would happen. This is it, my friend, the moment of truth. These ancient builders wanted to make sure they copied the painting exactly. Since the structure in the painting is built on grass, it's likely that the wither was built in the overworld on top of grass. Just saying though, the red sky should have been a big red flag that this was a terrible idea. Just saying. But their curiosity got to them. We learned what happened next with, quote, "They found a terrible success. With a scream and a burst of fumes, a glowing monstrosity appeared before them. All was quiet for a few moments, until it let forth an almighty explosion, and so the battle had begun. The monster was summoned, letting out a massive explosion, and the wither started destroying everything. And once the damage was done in the overworld, the wither then went back to its home, the Nether. The ancient builders constructed a Nether fortress as a defense against the wither. But wait, if you think about it, the wither is actually not that strong. I mean, a small group of players with the proper gear could easily take it out. But my guess is that since this undead mob had never been seen before, they were scared, and so they prepared for the worst. Fun fact, wither skeletons will only spawn in nether fortresses and nowhere else. Withers will sometimes spawn wither skeletons only when they reach half health and become charged. This leads me to believe that the wither had gotten to half health by the time it reached the nether. Since skeletons are players risen from the dead, perhaps wither skeletons were players risen from the dead by the wither. These skeletons, however, were corrupted or something, making them slightly taller. Anyways, the blazes were probably machines that were, quote, seemingly programmed to protect nether fortresses from any intruder. So maybe at first the blazes worked together with the players, but they eventually went rogue and attacked the ancient builders. Let's briefly mention the wither rose. Whenever the wither kills a mob, it will drop a wither rose. Why is that? It may be its way to reproduce and pollinate, similar to how wardens help the skulk spread. The wither effect is an infectious disease or life force which attempts to suck the life out of whatever it touches. The wither helps spread this withering effect, I guess in the form of a flower? Like how bees pollinate flowers, withers pollinate these flowers by killing other mobs. How sweet, right? But since wither roses don't naturally generate on grass, I guess the wither didn't last too long above ground. You might be wondering what happened to the wither if it seemingly caused so much chaos. My current theory is that the ancient builders evacuated the nether dimension and destroyed all of their portals, leaving behind the ruined portals. They successfully trapped the wither in the nether. The piglins were given freedom, but they were left to fend for themselves. A fact most Minecrafters don't know is that piglins attack both the wither and wither skeletons. This leads me to believe that the ancient builders armed the piglins with their golden tools and used them as a last-ditch effort to help kill the wither. The piglins would eventually succeed. The wither met its end after decimating the remnant bastion. This is why bastions look like a ruined mess with missing blocks. You can thank the wither for that. Its nether star, one of the most powerful items in the game, was ironically left to despawn. This would explain why beacons never naturally generate, or why nether stars aren't found in any chests. Now, it's finally time to figure out what nether stars are, and why withers drop them. The wither is powered thanks to its collection of many souls, kind of like the warden where you can clearly see multiple souls. But unlike the warden which just drops a skulk catalyst, the wither will drop a single item, the nether star. The nether star is a densely packed collection collection of many souls, all crammed into one item. Crystallized souls, if you will. Ghast tears probably contain souls too, which I talked about in my video called Why Ghasts Are Sad. The soul sand containing many souls powers the Wither. This dense collection of souls has a lot of soul energy. Soul energy and souls are represented by the color cyan, and can be seen in soul fire and soul lanterns. In this case, the Nether Star has so much energy that it can be used to create a beacon, and as you can see, both the Nether Star and beacon have a cyan tint to them. And so, the curiosity the settlers had when they saw the paintings created by Mojang eventually led to the beginning of the end for them, since it unleashed a monstrous beast which terrorized the world. It's quite ironic how all of this destruction started from a seemingly innocent painting. Even if the Wither wasn't an actual extinction level threat, it greatly spooked the ancient builders. They would, from now on, be a lot more cautious. There is something to be said about the curiosity of explorers that leads them to try anything, even if it ends in their doom. This could not be more true, and pretty much sums up the ancient civilization of builders, who ultimately led themselves to their own doom. The Wither was only one of the events which led to the ancient builders' downfall, however. So, the Wither was constructed due to the curiosity of a few settlers after seeing a mysterious painting. The Wither terrorized both the Nether and Overworld, and finally met its end due to the piglins. Withers are powered by many souls which crystallize to form a Nether Star when it dies. I hope you enjoyed this Minecraft story and theory. Subscribe if you liked it, and thank you so much for watching.